안녕하세요. 저는 2018년 월드 바리스타 챔피언십에 국가대표로 참여하게 된 바리스타 전지현입니다. 반가워요. 거의 10년 정도 동안 꿈꿔왔던 자리인 만큼 사실 그 자리에 서 있다는 것만으로도 사실 너무 벅차서 울컥했었고 눈물이 날 뻔했었거든요. 시연 시작 전에. 일단 꿈이 현실로 다가와서 너무 행복한 시간이었고 큰 실수 없이 무사히 마칠 수 있어서 행복한 하루입니다. 시연하는 사람도 굉장히 긴장을 많이 하지만 심사위원들도 똑같이 선수만큼 긴장을 하기 때문에 편안한 분위기 속에서 내가 하고 싶은 것들을 보여주겠다에 중점을 주었습니다. 전체적인 시연 분위기에 많이 중점을 두고 준비를 하는 타입인 것 같아요. 네. 너무 많이 응원해 주셔서 감사하고 제가 꼭 한국 가서 어떠한 방법으로든 다 보답하도록 하겠습니다. 감사하고 그리고 커피TV를 통해서 영상도 봐주시고 댓글도 많이 남겨주셔서 감사합니다. Everyday Happy Coffee TV.
Hi, hello judges. Your way in a transaction has been cancelled. We have moved from using blend to single origins. We also began roasting lighter and even started the innovative processing method. This evolution has allowed us to make espresso with a lot of flavor clarity. However, it is now common to see espresso that is too thin and lacking texture. I think espresso like this is unbalanced because body and texture are major parts of the sensory nature of the drink. So, how could I improve the tactile without sacrificing flavor clarity? I tried different processing methods, roasting profiles, and brewing recipes, but the results were always a compromise. I got more of one at the expense of the other. Then, I found the tactile sensation is directly influenced by immersion colloid of oil in espresso. A cup of espresso only contains 7.5 milligrams of oil. This is just 10% of the total amount of oil in roasted coffee. This means roasted coffee has more oil available. If there was a way to get more out of it without losing flavor clarity. After researching with Food Science Department of Fukyung University, finally I found a way. It is by using supercritical carbon dioxide. But before I explain the supercritical process, let me tell you about my coffee. I will share a lot of information, so feel free to write notes as I speak. My coffee is really special not only because it's delicious, but also because it is produced in the same environment where it was originally discovered. In other words, it's real origin. It is a geisha with genuine heirloom genetics. This coffee is produced by Anna and Rachel in their farm geisha village, located in the Benchumaji region in southwest Ethiopia. The seeds of the coffee were collected from the geisha guri wide forest, just 10 miles from the farm. This coffee is planted in a lab called Oma at the highest area of the farm, above 2,000 meters. This high altitude creates higher concentration of organic acid, which gives elegant acidity of my geisha. The plantation grows under the canopy of native forest trees. These develop the fat and sugar content, which gives the body and sweetness of my coffee. This is roasted coffee fermented for just 20 hours, and then dried on raised bed. This allows the flavor of my coffee to feel clean and clear in the cup. Judges, for your reference, all the information I'm sharing is in front of you, okay? Just evaluate the crema, but do not drink it yet. Don't drink it yet. Great. Now, please stir it 3 times and turn your spoon in here. Right. Next, lift your cup and smell the water aroma. Just remember, don't drink it yet. Okay. Right now, I want to explain the supercritical process. First, I pressurize CO2 at 250 bars and 32 degrees Celsius. This makes the CO2 reach the supercritical point. Well, it is not solid, no liquid, and not even gas. Then I apply this supercritical CO2 to my roasted coffee for 5 minutes. The supercritical CO2 was able to travel through cellular structure of my coffee and make the oil inside more soluble and easier to extract in the espresso machine. So, finally, I was able to enhance the texture of my espresso while roasting with a focus of flavor clarity. Don't worry about your espresso, I'm cooling them down to get the best texture and flavor clarity by Umageisha. And now, let me tell you about the milk. Oil is also responsible for the body and texture of the milk. But oil in the milk is diluted by high water content, which is 87%. So I heated the milk to lower the water and enhance the tactile sensation. And now I am cooling down the milk for steaming with this frozen container and liquid nitrogen. While the milk is being cooled down, let me tell you more about my espresso. I also focused my brew on flavor clarity and balance. Using 20 grams in, 40 grams out, with a 20% extraction. And water at 91 degrees Celsius that gives the elegant acidity of my espresso. I will use this recipe for all my drinks. So, tasting note. In my espresso, you will get lemon jam, plum, jasmine, and a hint of Ethiopian honey. You will also enjoy the balance, medium-high acidity, medium sweetness, medium-low bitterness. The weight is medium-high, with a slippery texture and viscosity like melted chocolate, and a long-lasting finish. You can find the tasting notes in the card on your right. The card is for you, so please take the review after my presentation. Okay, judges, it's time for you to taste. Please enjoy your espresso. Enjoy. This milk has 5% fat produced by Georgie cows right here in the Netherlands. It has only 75% water that develop the creamy texture of my milk beverage. I'm steaming this milk at 50 degrees and with a 7mm spoon to get the best sweetness and cushion mouthfeel like spongy cake. Alright, I will use 1:4 ratio to balance my espresso with the milk and to develop the sugar brownie flavors. So, you will taste milk chocolate panna cotta, almond, butter cookie sweetness, my coffee is medium light roast with a 20% development. In a total time, 11 minutes. This roast profile allows to retain organic acid, which gives the amazing dissolution. All this information I'm sharing is in the circle in front of you. You will enjoy this. This is really enjoy. Okay, let's get started with my signature drink. The first ingredient is full shot of espresso. The second ingredient is cacao oil from Ecuador. This is solid at room temperature. This cacao oil doesn't have any taste, but I use it to enhance the body. So I melted it. I'm adding 30 grams. When I combine this oil with the viscosity and develop the richer texture. The third ingredient is Ethiopian honey. It was produced in the same region where my coffee comes from. I'm adding 30 grams. This honey provides the balance to the drink and highlights honey sweetness of my espresso. As you see, the oil and the rest of the drink is divided and layered. This is because they are not immersion colloid. So, I will use this colloid mill. This machine creates a frictional force to break the oil molecules and integrate them in the liquid. So, last ingredient is egg yolk. I'm adding just 5 grams. You will not taste. I chose it because it is a natural surfactant, so it will make the immersion colloid more stable. The emulsification will take 30 seconds. My signature drink will be served in blended glasses applied by the temperature of your hand. That's where all the flavors open up and you can feel the best texture. Also, I place jasmine flower inside to highlight on my Oma geisha. So, tasting notes. In my signature drink, you will enjoy the soft and fluffy texture. It feels so nice in your palate. You will also enjoy the floral aroma, the chocolate flavor, and honey sweetness. To drink, first floral aroma, smell the floral aroma, and then just enjoy. 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 Thank you. Time.